പ്രവാസി വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളുടെ പഠന സൗകര്യാർത്ഥം ഭവൻസ് ഒരുക്കുന്ന എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ ടു ഹോം എന്ന ചർച്ച കാണാം.
We, the members of Department of Mathematics, are here to share some important points that will help the grade 4 students to perform well in mathematics. So let's have sneak peek of grade 4 syllabus. Ms. Riti will start the discussion with a few important lessons.
Math is not just a subject that you can learn inside the classroom. We learn math from everywhere. Math is around us. I can say that there is a whole math behind this wall. I mean, not just literally behind this wall, but when people were building this wall, they used a lot of math. So same thing, grade 4 children are learning in first chapter, building with bricks. So this chapter is all about 3D patterns, how we can make so many different designs using bricks. So this chapter is not only about math, this chapter is also a little history. When people were using only bricks and making so many beautiful designs, beautiful windows and floor patterns. So here children are learning how we can create so many patterns using 3D shapes. Here they are using their imagination and making so many patterns. So they'll be using this thing in higher grades also. Now chapter 2. Chapter 2 is long and short. So from the name itself you got an idea that this chapter is all about length. Yes. So here they are learning how to measure length of an object. Now it's not just measuring, but here they are learning how to assume. For example, if a thing is very short, then we can say that it should be in millimeter. If it is distance, then it should be in kilometer. So here they are learning how to assume lengths. Now, there are some word problems given where children are learning how to add and subtract lengths. So this chapter is very useful for them because we are using same concepts in our real life also. Now, chapter 3, trip to Bhopal. Here they went on a trip to Bhopal. So this chapter is a story of children going on a trip, and there are so many situations given in this story where we use math to solve the situations, to solve the problems. For example, trip starts with how many children are going on a trip. From so and so classes, these many children are going, so total what is the number? So children are learning this, how to find out total. Then, if so and so children can sit in one bus, how many buses do we need? So here they are using multiplication. So like this, there are so many situations given where children are using math and solving this problem and learning math. So this was a whole mathematical trip and they enjoyed this a lot. Now next chapter, chapter number 4, tick, tick, tick. So this chapter is about time. Here in this chapter, there are so many different stories given, and in each story, they are learning something new about time. They start with learning how to tell time, how to read a clock. Then they are learning time duration. If one event is starting at a particular time and it is ending at some time, what was the duration of that event? Then they are learning if there are a bunch of events given, how to arrange them in chronological order. So they are learning how to make a timeline. And then this part they enjoyed a lot, finding out expiry dates of products. Every day we buy some food products and we should know that at what date this thing is expiring. So sometimes the date is just given, but sometimes it is written that best before 6 months or best before 9 months. So here children are learning how to find out the expiry date of that product. And now they are using this in real life also. Now, this chapter is very useful for them because we can't live without time. So they enjoyed this chapter a lot and they are using so many concepts in our real life also. Now chapter 5, the way the world looks. So this chapter is about different views. If there is one object given, that object will look different from each angle. If you look it from front, you will get some different view. If you are looking at the same object from top side, it will again look different. Side view is also different. So here they are learning how one object can be different from each side. So this chapter is all about a story of a mouse who is flying for the first time with help of balloon, and the mouse is looking at the world from the top view for the very first time, and he is enjoying that view a lot. So from the top view, we can see that world, everything looks very small, and we can see that there are so many different ways, and small shops are given and all these things. So from this part, they are learning about maps also, like how we can fit the whole world in a small tiny paper, and they are learning about maps and direction words like left, right, go to front, take, return, and everything. So this chapter is all fun, and here also they are using a lot of imagination to think that what an object will look from different angles and how to use direction words.
In chapter 6, Junk Seller, it explains the importance of mathematics through a story of a woman, Kiran, who was a junk seller. The main objective of this chapter is the application of multiplication in real life situation. In chapter 7, Jugs and Mugs. Here, the chapter is a combination of mathematical principles and quantities. Here, students learn how to measure by using different units and solving by conversion of units. From chapter 8, that is carts and wheels, here students learn the concepts of circles through various activities. Here they learn what are circles, parts of a circle, and how to draw a circle using compass. Different types of questions are included in this chapter based on radius, diameter, circumference, congruent circles, and concentric circles. Chapter 9, Halves and Quarters. Here students get the chance to discover what are fractions, different types of fractions, and how fractions are useful in our everyday life. This chapter is a combination of fractions and quantities. Students need a practice to identify the fraction by comparing the number of shaded parts as numerator and the number of equal parts in the shape as denominator by doing various activities like pizza sharing and making shapes of fish or bird by using fractions. Coming to chapter 10, play with patterns. More than a beautiful design, every pattern follows certain rule which allows to find the missing term from the given pattern. Different types of questions are included from this chapter based on repeating pattern, increasing pattern, decreasing pattern, and number pyramid. Now, Mr. Kishan will continue for the next set of chapters from class 4 mathematics.
Chapter 11, Tables and Shares. So basically this chapter is all about multiplication and division. For these two concepts, they already started learning few things in grade 2 as well as grade 3. But in grade 4, they are learning these two concepts with an advanced level. It includes 2-digit by 2-digit and 3-digit by 3-digit multiplication and the long division as well. Word problems are very important in mathematics because it connects the concept with the real life. Now, chapter 12, how heavy, how light. So just by reading the name of the chapter itself, you can understand it is something about weight. So in this chapter, students are learning what are the metric units of weights like gram and kilogram, how to convert the measurement from one unit to another unit, and they are also learning the word problems. Chapter 13, Field and Fences. This chapter is about area and perimeter. For example, I want to make a wall with a particular length and the particular height. So if I want to know that how many bricks are required to make that wall, I can calculate the area of that wall and I can find out how many bricks are required to make that wall. Next, perimeter. For example, I have one farm in my village. Now I want to cover the farm with a wiring around the farm. So for that, how much material is required, that I can find out by using the perimeter. And they are also learning such word problems in this chapter. Chapter 14, Smart Charts. So in this chapter, students are learning how to collect the information, how to collect the data, how to analyze the data, and how to represent the data in various forms, as well as how to make a charts for the data. It also includes the real life situation in the form of word problems. By this, we have come to an end of this panel discussion.
കുവൈറ്റ് ജനത്തിൻ്റെ ഈ അധ്യായം ഇവിടെ പൂർണ്ണമാവുന്നു. കൂടുതൽ വാർത്തകളും വിശേഷങ്ങളുമായി അടുത്തയാഴ്ച വീണ്ടും കാണാം. നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.